Hi, welcome to Integrative Preparedness. I'm Steve Smith. Well, it is Tuesday, January 5, and we're getting ready to watch what's going to happen down in Georgia today. We've already talked a little bit about what might happen, and I know that everybody's paying attention to that. But the video that I put up, was it yesterday or the day before? Anyway, the last one that I put up about what you should do now. A couple of people pointed out that I had left something out, which I had originally. I had meant to put it in as one of the first things. Um, and it's amazing that I forgot. But somebody over on Patreon and somebody on YouTube both brought it up and reminded us of it, and I thank you for it. And that was to pull cash, keep cash. If you got cash in the bank, get it out, get it into your hands. The funny thing about that is that it was probably the first preparedness lesson that I taught in my first book, the reversion. And those of you who have read it can remember that it starts off with Jim Wyatt standing in line at a barbecue restaurant, and all the lights go off and all the power goes off, and so everybody's stuck there not being able to get anything to eat because they all rely on their debit cards. And uh, and but Jim, since he always carries cash, and I've made videos on that before, always carry cash, uh, and use it instead of your debit card. There's reasons for that. um, since he had it, he was able to go right up and get his order. He kind of had an idea of what had happened in that series of books. Uh, it's an EMPCME event. You have to read it to find out which one it is, and he's able to get that. Oh, I'll just tell you, this video is brought to you by the Stonemont series. I do that to irritate the occasional person that pops on here and says, "Well, you talk about your books, and you just want to sell your books." Yeah, I'm a writer. Guess what? I sell books, and many of the people on here are interested in it, and pretty much everybody on here is interested in the subject matter. If you're fairly new to the channel or to me, I'll just take a moment here before I go on the importance of money and the importance of having it with you, and introduce the books. I know that the guru puts on an end tag at the end of each of the videos now, or an end card, I guess they call it, and and it shows the different books, and they're available on Amazon and all that. But the first one is The Reversion. The second one, let's see if I put them in order here. Hopefully I did. The second one is The Revival. The third one is The Renewal. And the fourth one is An Appeal to Heaven. And those books are collectively called the Stonemont series, and they essentially they are lessons about preparedness. If you have read those, if you have did everything in there, what's going on now is not going to affect you. And I know that most people aren't able to do that, but it's kind of a complete, comprehensive preparedness outline contained in a fictional story about the fall of America. In this case, an EMPCME event. Like I say, read the second book. The end of the second book, I tell you what it is. And the rebuilding of the country, according to the ways that I think, and many of you agree, it should be built on the basic principles and values that our founders, originally envisioned, and the way that most of us choose to live our lives. Anyway, so if you're interested in that, become a Stonemonter. Um, they're up on Amazon, and the fifth one is in the works, coming out sometime this spring. I'm kind of in the middle of a lot of different things like now, so I'm getting back to writing, and I expect that to be out in March, April, something like that, hopefully. Anyway, back to the importance of having money. I don't know what I'll call this. A buck in the hand is worth two in the bank, or something like that. And the power of money, there is before I get into the power of money, right now, if you haven't already, go to the bank, pull cash, have cash in your hands. If something goes sideways in the next couple of days, and for whatever reason uh, the the credit card machines go down, the processing for debit cards, the banking systems are hacked. You, yeah, you know that can happen, right? Well, you're stuck. You're stuck if all you got is a piece of plastic in your hand and a smile on your face and asking the person, just trust me, I swear, I'll come back and pay you. Well, if you need something, you need it right now. And money talks, as they say. And debit cards walk to to put that in another saying. Um, but pull your cash. I don't believe in having most of your money in the bank. Now, I know there will be people who say, well, but I don't know, what they're going to say. Well, tell me something. What's your money in the bank doing? Okay, except sitting there. What's it getting you? 0.5% interest now? I don't even have any idea. And that's if you have it in a savings account or an interest-bearing checking account. And I don't even pay attention to that stuff anymore because your return is negligible. It's not enough to make any difference. So you should keep most of your money somewhere else. I'm not even going to say where, but you should be able invest in the ability to hold your money in cash, put in the bank what you need to pay your bills. When your mortgage payment's coming up, your rent payment, your car payment, your whatever your payments, go ahead and make sure that there's money in the bank for that, and then clear the rest out and put it in your own private bank wherever you have decided that should be, so that your money is available to you at any time. Money is power, and a lot of people who aren't rich, won't even think that way. They think, well, yeah, money is power for the rich people because they've got a lot of it. Well, no, money is power. Every dollar you have represents a small slice of freedom and the choice that you have over the things in your life. And too many people fail to accumulate any sizable amount of money because they nickel and dime themselves to death on a daily basis. And so they're always just living at the edge of their money. I don't believe in living at the edge of anything, especially money. It's a life of worry. It's a life of not knowing what's going to happen. It's a life of, oh my gosh, I hope my stimulus check gets here in time. Things like that. If you understand that money is power, and that as long as you have income streams, and I say that plural because everybody should have more than one, you should have a number of income streams, meaning simply that's just a fancy way of saying different ways that you're making money, different things that you're doing in life that bring you money from all different directions. Okay, if you have bet all of your eggs on a job or one thing, what happens when that one thing goes away? And it could go away for any number of reasons. But when you have multiple income streams coming in, okay, you lose one. I've been through that. I've lost huge income streams in the years. But you know what? I had others coming in, and that's why you diversify. Make money a lot of different ways. And if you don't have more ways than one right now, we'll just start thinking about it. There's something that you can do that that you could do for people or sell to people. I guarantee you there's a million things out there. I've said it before. I can't wake up and have my first cup of coffee without thinking of a new way that would be good to make money. I don't do them all because I don't have time. I've already got my plate full, but there's some out there for you too. Okay. So anyway, the thing about accumulating money is whether or not you have multiple income streams coming in is to pay attention to your daily outflow. Okay. You have your income and then you have your outflow. The income to a great extent Well, it's up to you because you can always make more in different ways. But, for many people, that remains rather static. Uh, but your outflow is where people get in trouble. And if most people, if many people, I'll say, if they look back, if they went back and looked at their debit card over the last 2 or 3 months, and they looked at all the things they didn't need, all the things that they just wanted, that spur of the moment or made them feel good for the moment. And that's why a lot of money is spent. A lot of money is spent to make us feel good, and it feels good for the moment. It's just like a shot of dope. Whoa, man, I feel good about that. Well, how do you feel about it next week? You still on that high? No, you got to get something else. And then your money's just leaking out for things that you don't really need. So you go back and you take a good hard look at your bank statement, and look at your debit card over the last 3 months, and add up all those little things that you didn't need. Okay, I'm not talking about rent and mortgage payments and car payments, although it's always best not to have a car payment. Insurance payments, utilities, things like. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about all those. You know what I'm talking about. The things you didn't need. Okay, and that's where it is. The things that you wanted and that fulfilled a momentary, a flitting, void in your life, and then compare that with the feeling that you have now. Add it up and look at it. Now you're going to come up with hundreds of dollars, I'll guarantee you. And then think about, what is it that I really need? That would be beneficial, that I could have spent that money on. And how do I feel about not having that $500, $1,000, $1,500, and for a lot of people, it's a lot more than that. You can look back and see thousands of dollars just spent on junk. Okay, momentary gratification, to where and which is taken away from your ability to build up money, but translate that to what money really is: power. Okay, power. Money is power. Money is say-so over your own life and your own choices. When something comes up that you need money for, and I've heard these things, like I'm sure you have, X percentage of people in the country don't have, I don't know, $1,000 in the bank. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter. That's because they frittered that away, and they have no power. Okay, if you're not able, if something comes up, bam, I need money for this. Okay, and you don't have it, go back and see how many months it took for you to spend that in little $5, $10, $20, $50 increments. And you'll be amazed. And at that point, you should have a hallelujah moment. Go, oh my gosh, here is where my power is, and I've given it to other people. Every time you bought something from somebody else, you transferred power from yourself to them. Okay, you may have that little trinket, you may have that, whatever it is, but they now have the money, which gives them power, and you have given away your power. Retain the power. Keep your money. Be frugal. I was, as many of you, I was raised by Depression-era parents. It was drilled into us. If you pay attention to the little things, the big things take care of themselves. If you pay attention to the little money, you'll have the big money when you need it. And that's a lesson that a lot of later generations, I don't think it was really drilled into, because because it's been fairly easy. We've lived in an affluent society, but it really is the basics of survival strategy. It's the basics of preparedness strategy, and it's one of the most important ones that you can develop. Now, so if you keep all your cash at home, how do you, or wherever, keep it out in a field? I don't, whatever you have decided, and you should have it extremely secure, and diversified, not everything in the same place. Um, so how do you work that? Well, I'll just tell you the system that I do, and that is whenever, and I don't, you carry however much you think you ought to, but to keep you from frittering away. It shouldn't be money that you go out and blow. Oh, I got a bunch of cash in my wallet, I'm going to go spend it. But studies have shown that people who spend cash tend to spend less than people who spend from a debit card, because a debit card just doesn't seem real. It's just nothing. You just stick in a card. You don't see any money leaving your hand, and you don't see the tick in your bank account right then. You don't say, bloop, oh, look at that. And after I've done 8 of those today, look, I started up here and I'm down here. You don't see that. It's almost like magic money, mentally and emotionally. Cash is different. Every time you take, a 5, a 10, a 20 out of your pocket and put it down there, you are seeing that thing that has represented part of your life and labor and thought and intensity. You put that down, that represents a block of time of your life you're never going to get back, and you're giving it to someone else in exchange for what you're asking from them. And you make, a lot of little determinations. Is this worth it? It's, people have told me when they've gone to this system, there's a lot of times they start to look at something, they're going to get it, and then they realize, and then they start to pull the cash out of their wallet and go, oh, well, I don't know, that cash looks pretty good in my wallet. So anyway, the way that I would suggest to do this is, keep it just like a bank. Put it in an envelope, in yours, or several envelopes, however you want to do it, in a safe, wherever you're going to keep it, and keep it wrapped up in an envelope, and then a piece of paper, and start off. You start off with putting your money away like this. Such and such a date, I added $500. Okay. Such and such a date, I added $500. Okay. You ought to be adding a lot more than you're taking out. Okay. And then I subtract, so I've got $1,000. Now I've taken out $200 to carry in my wallet. Okay, gonna have that $200. Okay, now I'm down to $800. And you say, whoa, $800 doesn't look nearly as good as $1,000 did, so I'm not going to spend this. Okay, the next time I've got stick $500 in. But don't just wait till you can stick $500 in it. Stick in, $100, $200, $300. Build that thing up, and you're going to watch that number go up and up and up and up and up, and you're going to get to the point to where, and then you only take out what you need to carry. You establish your own idea what you want to carry in your wallet all the time. Carry a certain amount. You may run across a good deal someplace, a yard sale, or a closeout, or a Craigslist or something, and you need the cash, and you've got it, and then go refill it. But do that and keep track of that, and you will see. I've got sheets of paper that go back years. I can look down those pieces of paper and I can see what I had in those envelopes every January 1st, way back when, and I can see how it went up and down. And so do that, but take charge of your financial situation. And I know this got into a kind of a financial talk when really I was just started off with saying pull money out of the bank, because those banks, things can happen and you may not be able to get your money. But it all kind of rolls into this. Take charge, take mastery of your money, because your money represents your power to influence the world around you, or to keep the world around you from having adverse influence over you. Okay? So I hope that made some sense. Thanks to the guys who pointed out the fact that I left that out. Again, for you guys who are kind of new to the channel, welcome. There have been so many new people here and over on Patreon. Welcome all of you. If you haven't read my books, I hope you'll find that you're interested in them, grab them. There is a I haven't said this much either lately, but there should be something over in the about section wherever it is up here. If you want autographed copies of the books, they're $15 a piece. You just tell me what you want me to write in them, and who you want me to make them out to, and you can send a check to me at that P.O. box, and I'll get them back to you as soon as I can. And I think I'll leave it there. It is January 5. We got interesting things going on in Georgia today. We'll all be keeping track of that. And then tomorrow, January 6th, is going to be another very interesting day. So money is one of the important things you want to have a handle on, and I hope that you do. And if you don't right now, I hope you get a hold of it. So remember that we prepare well today in order to live well tomorrow. And so central to our preparations is the proper handling of our money. So you all have a good day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.